Hi, I'm Dr. Michelle Friedman from Atlantic Physical Therapy. I'm going to show you a nice short wake up yoga flow this morning that's designed to activate your hamstrings and your hip flexors, both to stretch and strengthen them. So it's a nice short beginner flow that you can do in the morning. So the first thing we're going to do is start in a child's pose, and there's a few different ways to do that. So I'm going to start by just putting my toes together, big toes together, and then sitting back on my heels. If that doesn't feel great for your hip flexors, the front of your hips, just put your knees together instead of having them apart. Either way, it works. I'm going to keep my knees apart for now. So just walk out your hands. Let your forehead rest on the floor. And just start to close your eyes and pay attention to your breath here. So in yoga, the breath is the primary focus. So if you ever have like other thoughts pop into your head, and it's pretty normal, we all do. The kind of point of meditation in yoga is to send those thoughts away and come back and focus on our breath. So here I like to imagine as those thoughts come up, you're going to notice them, and then you're going to click out of them like they're a pop-up ad on your computer. Just X out of them for now. If you have things going on in your day, they will be there when you're done. But right now is your time to focus on your breath and relax. As you're here in child's pose, start to deepen your breath a little bit. Start to feel that breath in your back, and your sides, and your low belly, and your pelvic floor. And then slow the breath down. Slowing your breath down, exhaling as slowly as you can, helps activate our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our relaxing response, our feed and breathe response, the opposite of fight or flight where we're tense. So just slowing down your breath helps activate that part of our nervous system and calm everything down. So throughout the practice today, know that you can always come back to your breath and just check in to see how you're breathing. You try to slow it down. Good. With our next inhale, you're going to rise up and you're going to find a tabletop position. Hands should be under shoulders, knees are under hips, belly should be pulled in tight. Good. From here, we're going to do some cat-cow. So as you move into the cow, it's when you arch your back and inhale. And then a cat pose, like the angry Halloween cat, you're going to round through your back, let your head drop, and exhale all the contents of your belly. So move with your breath here. Inhaling, arching your back, sending your heart through the window of your arms, pulling your shoulder blades down your back. Exhaling, expelling all the air in your belly, letting your tailbone drop towards the ground, letting your head get heavy. So a few more breaths here, going at your own pace. Don't worry if you fall out of sync with me. Just go at your own pace here with your own breath. Beautiful. Waking up your back, waking up all the muscles in your shoulders. Wonderful. Try to exaggerate each motion. Good. Start to meet me back in that neutral tabletop. Once you're here, we're going to start to do some hip strengthening exercises. So send your left leg long behind you. Gaze should be between your hands. And your back toe, this toe, should be pointing towards the ground. The tendency is to dial your hip up. You want to make sure your back is really level, that left hip is dialed down. Good. Once you're here, we're going to take 10 hamstring curls. So you're just moving your heel towards your butt for 10.
9, keep pushing the ground away. 8, belly stays strong. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now extend that leg long, and now we're gonna wake up our glute max, or big butt muscle, by pulsing up towards the ceiling for 10, 9, keep your belly engaged here too, so you don't do the motion with your back. You just use your butt. Good. Got 6 more. 5, keep that back toe pointed down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Set the left knee down, and now we're going to take some fire hydrants. So our left knee is going to come out to the side like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant for 10, 9, this gets your hip external rotators. 8, piriformis muscle. 7, 6, 5, belly stays pulled in. 3, 2, and on our last one, we're gonna hold that leg up and step it to the outside of our left hand for this funky little broken lunge, and we're gonna start to rock back and forth to start to stretch out your hip flexors and your hamstrings. You'll feel a stretch when you go forward like this in the front of your right hip, and when you go back into your hamstring. Now, if this feels like really tight to you, you can also use some blocks under your hands. Good. And start to just move with your own breath and deepen each time you go front to back. To warm everything up. Maybe the next time you go backwards, you bring your toes up a little bit for an even deeper hamstring and calf stretch and sciatic nerve glide. Good. And next time we go back, we're gonna pause and come up. Good. Square off our hips, so pull your left hip back, right hip forward, and we're gonna take a little hamstring stretch. So if this feels too much, you can use blocks or chairs or paper towel rolls, whatever you got, and put your fingertips on them. All right, so as we inhale, we're gonna lengthen through our hamstring. Exhale, fold a little bit deeper. Inhale, lengthens. Exhale, folds. And you can also place fingertips on the ground here too, or on blocks. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Let your breath be what moves the posture and deepens it. Good. Maybe you let your head drop here too for an even deeper nerve glide. Good. And you can do this with your foot either pointed or flex. Flex is going to be more intense. Good. Start to relax your foot, walk your hands forward, and you're in a nice low lunge right here. And now we're going to start to work on our hip flexors. You want to start to energize your thigh adductors by squeezing your foot towards your back knee, and then rise up right here to a kneeling position. Now, if you find this uncomfortable on the knee that you're leaning on, you can always fold your yoga mat in half or use a pillow here. So start to square off your hips by pulling your left hip back, right hip forward, tucking your tailbone under here, pulling your abs tight, and then start to lunge forward. And what you'll start to feel is a stretch in the front of your right hip. And you're going to breathe into it, just like we did with the hamstring stretch. Inhale, lengthens your chest. Exhale, folds to stretch a little bit deeper. I'm gonna go ahead and fold my mat under here. Make it a little bit more cushy for my knee. Inhale, lengthens. Exhale, folds. For even more engagement in that front hip, if you want deeper stretch, really pull your feet together like scissors closing, that energetic pull, like you're gonna fold your mat in half lengthwise. Good. Now I want you to start to bring your right arm up and over and take a side bend. Lower body stays the same. We're still feeling the stretch primarily in the front of our right hip. Beautiful. Inhale, lengthens. Exhale, fold a little bit deeper towards the left. Good. Our hip flexors tend to get really tight if we sit all day, if we do a lot of desk work. This is kind of the opposite, right? So we're doing the opposite of sitting, and that part that gets tight gets all stretched out with this pose. Also, women who have just had babies, pregnant women tend to have really tight, painful hip flexors, so this is a great stretch for them. Good. Start to open up and twist towards your left side for an even deeper version of this stretch. Keep thinking, lengthening through your chest, folding deeper into that stretch each time. Nice, deep, steady, even breath. Cartwheel your right hand down to the mat next, or a block, and then bend your right leg. If you can't catch your foot like I'm catching, you can either do your pant leg, you can use a strap or a belt right there too, and then start to really spin your chest towards the ceiling and pull your heel towards your butt. Good. Maybe back up your tush to meet your heel and then lean forward again. And that's going to give you a really deep quad stretch. Good. If that hurts the knee you're on, make sure you are on the fleshy part of your thigh right above your knee. Good. Good. Start to let go of that foot. Put your hand back down. Return to that lunge. Step it back. Tabletop pose. Good. Couple more cat-cows here before we do the other side. Just to kind of reset between sides. Check in with your hands. Check in with your breath. Good. Start to find some stillness here. Send your right leg long behind you. Toe is pointing downwards. Belly is tight, and we're curling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now pulsing up through the butt for 10. Belly stays tight. 9. Don't arch your back. 8, 7. Push the ground away. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set your knee down. And fire hydrants now on the right side. So we're lifting and externally rotating your right hip for 10, 9, 8, 7. You'll even feel this on the opposite side because those muscles are also working to stabilize you. We got 5 more. Good, almost there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Remember, we're holding that, hovering it, and stepping the right foot to the outside of the right hand, and we're just gonna go right into that rock, forward and back, to start to warm up your hamstrings and your hip flexors on this side. Good. Good. As you move with the stretch, start to consider maybe lifting your front toes up for a deeper version of that stretch. Getting some good blood flow to the backs of your legs, the front of your left hip flexor. Good. Next time we go back, we're gonna pause. I'm gonna lift up, pull my right hip back, lift my chest, and start to fold forward. Remember, we're letting our breath move us. So inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we fold. Toe up for a deeper version. Toe down, less intense. I'm gonna go intense, because why not? Let your breath be what moves you. Maybe you place fingertips to the ground or to blocks. Whatever feels right to you. Remember, you don't have to go to an extreme of a stretch to get benefit from it. So when you're stretching and you want to know how intense do I make this stretch, you just need to be, like if we're going to rank it on a scale of 0 to 10, be in like a 4 to 6 range. You don't need to make it so intense where it's painful and you can't breathe. The most recent literature says it doesn't really matter whether you feel a light stretch or a deep stretch. The results and flexibility are the same. So why torture yourself? Good. Nice, moderate stretch. The most important thing is that you stick with a steady breath and you can breathe and do it with ease. Good. Start to rebend that front knee. Just squeeze your foot and your knee together like you're going to fold up the mat and rise up to a kneeling position. You might feel a little wobbly, that's okay. You might need a cushion under your left knee here. Either use the mat or a pillow. Good. Tuck your tailbone under here. Pull your belly in tight and then start to lunge forward for a stretch in your left hip flexor here. Good. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. It tends to creep up there. Let everything go. Good. Inhale, lengthens. Exhale, folds. And it's okay if you notice one side is more flexible than the other. Our hips are usually never perfectly symmetrical, and that's okay. They're sisters, not twins. Good. Start to lift your left arm up and over for a deepening of this stretch. Keep pulling your front hip back, back hip forward. Keep pulling your belly in. Inhale, lengthens out of that arm socket. Exhale, folds deeper to the right. Good. Start to open the twist to the right side of the room. Bottom of your body stays the same. Whoa, if you feel wobbly or you fall out, no big deal. Just come right back in. Good. Let your shoulders move away from your ears. Beautiful. Good. Start to cartwheel your left hand down, and maybe reach back for your foot or your pant leg or a strap or whatever you got. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Open your heart towards the ceiling. Back your tush up to meet your foot, and then lunge forward again for a left quad stretch. This one's super intense. It's called Twisted Monkey. In those times of intensity, that's when you really want to refocus on your breath and keep it nice and steady. Good, start to let go of your foot. Bring your hand back down, step back, tabletop pose. Good, and come back to some cat-cows here. Perfect. Once you're back in your tabletop, find some stillness and tuck your toes under. And we're gonna sit back and give our feet a little bit of a stretch. That feels so good first thing in the morning. Great stretch for plantar fasciitis. And then just rock it forward. We're gonna rock back into that funky little child's pose with our toes tucked under, and then back to our tabletop. Keep your toes tucked under here to stretch out the bottoms of your feet. Good. If you wear flip-flops a lot, these muscles can be really tight. I'm just gripping the flip-flop. Good. Next time you come back, we're going to keep it there. You're going to walk your hands out forward. Chest is going to come towards the ground, and then you're going to push your hips up and back for our first down dog. Once you're in your down dog, start to pedal out your feet a little bit, taking nice calf stretch. Beautiful. Keep gripping the ground as you send your chest towards your thighs. Good. And now find some stillness in your down dog. You always want to prioritize having a flat back here. So if your back isn't perfectly flat, try to bend your knees a little bit. Press your chest down and then drop your heels to the ground. Nice deep breaths here. Beautiful. Good. We're going to ripple forward to a plank. Now, if you're an old pro at yoga and you want to drop into a chaturanga, traditionally you can do that. I'm going to do the beginner way, which is dropping your knees down to the ground, lowering your chin and chest down to the ground, and then slithering back. Beautiful. Once you're on your belly, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Keep your abs engaged, pubic bone pressed down with your chest for a baby cobra. Exhale, flat to the ground. Tuck your toes back under. Press back into your modified child's pose. Good. We're going to do a few more just like that, just flowing in a circle. So child's pose. Press to down dog. Ripple forward plank. Modified chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. That's an up dog. This is the cobra. Either way, belly is engaged. Pubic bone pressing down. Good. Tuck your toes. Press right back, child. One more time. Inhale, down dog. Exhale, plank. Inhale, chat. Exhale, cobra. Inhale, child. Good. Come back to your breath here. Feel some heat. Good. Press back into your down dog. Now you're going to lift your leg to a three-legged dog and start to set up for a pigeon. So you're going to bring your knee to your chest, wiggle it around so your left ankle is as close to your right wrist, and then slide your right leg back. Get a nice deep breath, lift your chest, and then walk it down for a sleeping pigeon. Yoga blocks are also nice here under your hip or under your chest, so you can rest into it. If this isn't accessible for you, you can always do the same stretch like a figure 4 on your back. Beautiful. Rest, relax into that leg. Start to walk your hands back in. Tuck your back toe under, press back, down dog. Right leg is gonna lift this time. Bring it to your chest and set up for the pigeon on this side. Left wrist or right ankle is close to your left wrist. Good. Come to fingertips, lift your chest. And exhale. Come down to your sleeping pigeon. Again, our hips might not feel the same side to side. We might have one that feels a lot more comfortable and flexible. And that is okay and totally normal. Sometimes you might want to do a few more breaths on that tight side. Up to you. Get heavy and breathe. Good. Start to walk your hands back in. Tuck your back toe under, press back, down dog. Good. Start to walk your hands back towards your feet until you're in a nice forward fold. And we're going to take a ragdoll right here. So let your knees get heavy and bend until your chest can lie flat on your lap. Cross your hands over your elbows, let your head get heavy, and sway a little bit here. Maybe nod your head yes and no. Maybe stick out your tongue, take a lion's breath. Alright, start to release your arms and roll up as slow as you can. Take a deep breath in, lift your arms up, bring your hands together, exhale to prayer. Good. And that is our wake up flow. So I hope you enjoyed this. Send me your comments down below. Have a great day. Let's turn off the video.